Okay, let's start with a question that sounds like a sci-fi movie plot. What if I told you that thousands of innocent-looking cargo ships could secretly be floating ecosystems, ready to unleash biological chaos across the planet? No, this isn't a B-grade horror flick. It's what's happening right now in the Strait of Hormuz. And honestly, the implications are so wild I can't stop thinking about them. Let me break this down. So here's the deal. Over 1,500 ships are stuck in the Gulf because of the whole US-Israel-Iran conflict. They've been sitting there for months, motionless. Now, if you've ever seen a ship that's been in the water too long, you know what happens next. Barnacles, algae, creepy crawlies start colonizing the hull like it's their personal condo complex. But here's the kicker, scientists are calling this a perfect storm for marine invasions. And I mean perfect storm in the most apocalyptic way. Let me explain why this isn't just some niche biology problem. Normally, ships don't stay in one place long enough for these organisms to get comfortable. A few days at anchor. Not a big deal. But these ships have been parked like permanent residents for months. Think about that timescale. Microbes, mussels, even baby crabs are building entire ecosystems on these hulls. When these ships finally leave, they're not just carrying oil or electronics, they're transporting ecosystems to ports worldwide. And that's when things get dangerous. Here's where my brain starts spiraling. The Gulf's extreme conditions mean these species are basically marine Navy SEALs. They're used to scorching temps and salter than usual water. So when they hitch a ride to places like Singapore or India, regions with similar climates, they're not just surviving. They're thriving. And that's how you end up with invasive species outcompeting natives, collapsing fisheries, or clogging power plant cooling systems. We're talking billions in damages, folks. But wait, here's a twist most people miss. This isn't just about the ships leaving the Gulf. The study mentions individual vessels might have already released millions of larvae into the Gulf itself during their downtime. So even the local ecosystem is getting rewritten as we speak. It's like a double invasion, internal and external. And let's not forget ballast water, which acts like a biological hypodermic needle, injecting pathogens and parasites into new waters. Now, here's where I get mad. The International Maritime Organization has guidelines for cleaning ships, but they're not legally enforceable. We're relying on voluntary compliance to prevent ecological disasters. That's like asking a toddler not to touch a cookie jar while you leave the room. Sure, some companies might do the right thing, but there's zero accountability. And while I get that human lives matter more in war zones, ignoring the environmental fallout is short-sighted. Once these species spread, they don't care about political borders or ceasefire lines. What's fascinating and terrifying is how this mirrors pandemics. Scientists are literally comparing it to tracking flu outbreaks. Early detection, rapid response, containment zones, the playbook's the same. But here's the catch, a rogue mussel isn't going to self-isolate. Once these organisms establish a foothold, eradication is nearly impossible. We're talking about irreversible changes to ecosystems that took millennia to evolve. So here's my hot take, this Hormuz situation isn't an isolated incident. It's a stress test for a global shipping system that's fundamentally broken. We've spent decades prioritizing economic efficiency over ecological safety, and now we're seeing the cracks. Climate change is creating more extreme environments where superspecies can evolve, and global trade is giving them a first-class ticket to new habitats. This isn't just about one strait, it's about every port city on Earth becoming a battleground for invasive species. Let me leave you with this, the next time you see a cargo ship, don't think of it as just a metal box moving goods. Think of it as a Trojan horse for Mother Nature's dark side. And maybe, just maybe, we need to start treating biosecurity with the same urgency as cybersecurity. Because if we don't, the cost of fixing these invasions will make oil spills look like a drop in the ocean.